Hello all and welcome. My name is Kieren and I'm the Connectivity Solutions Developer with Umango. And today I'll run you through just how quick and easy it is to set up a job which exports documents into Smokeball. Let's get into it.
It's the Tech Tidbit in Umango.
All right, we'll kick things off inside of Umango's dashboard. I'm going to head to Jobs and select our Smokeball Financials job. We're just going to make sure we add this job to the document drop, which will come into play a little bit later on. In our Zones tab, you can see I already have a sample document here, which is an invoice from Synergy. We've got a couple zones dragged around this document. The first of which is our Customer Details Ask AI zone. And if we just zoom in on this merge field here, you can see that we're asking AI, find a customer name and an account number, then append together with an underscore, removing all white space. If no account number is found, use an invoice number instead. All right, we can test this by hitting the test button. And let's see what we get back. So we should get the consumer name, underscore, the account number. And as you can see down here, that's worked just fine. Okay, we'll move over to our next zone, which is document type. So we've dragged over half the document, our zone document type. And again, we have an Ask AI field here. And the question I'm asking is, determine the document type and append an S to the result. Now we can be a little bit more specific with this. So i.e., if it is an invoice, return invoices. All right, again, we can test this here. And so for our document type Ask AI zone, we have invoices returned. Lovely. We'll use these a little bit later on in our Smokeball export connector. Our next two zones come from our export connector. Okay, so if I head over to Matter Select, we have an export field zone and it is called Smokeball Matter Search. So this is going to allow the user to select and search a matter during processing, whether that's at the MFD or in document drop, which you'll see shortly. And for our second export field, we have the folder browse. Okay, just remembering the names up here. All right, this export field is going to allow the user to then, with a selected matter, search and select a folder within the matter. So we'll save that off. We'll head to destinations and you can see here we have our Smokeball connector ready to rock. We can add any number of connectors to this job if we like, okay? And we have an ever-growing list, as you can see. If you get lost in the list, just remember you can search for the connector you're after. It's by simply typing the name. But we'll head into our Smokeball connector and we're presented with the authentication screen. So before we can do anything with our Smokeball connector, it's probably a good idea that we authenticate. We need to select the region that our Smokeball instance is located in. So for me, that's Australia. And for the email address, you can see I have that here. I'm already authenticated, but we're going to run through this process just so you can see how it works. So Control C, copy paste, pop that into here. Umango is going to email us instructions on how to authenticate with Smokeball. So if we head over to our inbox here, we should get another email from Umango with an authentication request. So step one, generate authentication token. So click the link. All right, and you can see here, I'm already signed into Smokeball. So we can just copy and paste that code, head back into step two, and we just need to paste that code into here. Now, if you weren't already signed into Smokeball, it would simply just be an authentication screen having you enter your Smokeball email and password. You would receive a similar code to what I did. We're going to paste that back into Umango. And if we head back into our dashboard and test again, you should see that we're authenticated. So for our matter and folder selection, we've got a couple options here. We can always export to a selected matter. So we can search here for a list of matters, but we're going to make this a little bit more dynamic. Okay. And we're going to use an index field or an export field to select the matter. And we're going to select that matter select export field that we had configured. Same goes for the folder selection. Okay, there's a bunch of different options. We can fix the folder for this job. We're going to make this more dynamic by using our folder browse export field. Okay, and you can see here for the subfolder path, we're using our document type, Ask AI zone, and then appending to that, we've got today's date. Okay, so if we head over to metadata, we're not uploading any additional metadata with this document. As for the document name, we're going to be using our Customer Details Ask AI zone. Now, if we just get rid of this, any of these merge fields delineated by the blue dotted line, we can double click And we can see we have access to a bunch of different methods in here. Okay, so from calculations, time and date, we also have access to our export fields that we've configured before. So customer details, ask our AI. We're going to rename the new file by appending an incrementing number. So if this already exists in Smokeball. And then as for sharing, we can enable a shareable document link, which could be used in a connector preceding this one, which could be the email connector. So upon successful export, we can grab this Smokeball shareable link, pop that into a merge field in our email connector and fire that off to someone to let them know that, hey, this document is now in Smokeball and you can preview it here. We're not going to be doing this, so let's save our job configuration, head over to the document drop and see this in action. Okay, so if we go to Smokeball just quickly, the matter that we're worried about is Barry Summers' matter. Okay, we want to get some files into her financials folder. You can see here she's already got a PO folder created. However, we don't have an invoices folder just yet. So heading back to Umango, I'm going to grab an invoice here. All right, so ask AI, we're asking those questions. Umango is capturing all the data from that document, and then the user is asked to intervene. So if I hit process batch, and we just have a look at some of our zones here. Okay, so customer details, ask AI. This looks pretty good, okay? P-poll underscore with our account number. So I'm happy with that. I'm gonna save that. Our document type has come back as invoices, which is perfect. All right, and as for matter select, we can duck into here. And as I said before, we wanted Barry Summers matter. We can search this. We have the same functionality at the MFD panel, okay? Selecting Barry Summers matter there. And as for the folder that we're concerned with, I said we wanted to get this into the financials folder. And our subfolder path will be handled by Umango. So everything looks good. I'm gonna save that off, export the document. Okay, we're gonna head back into Smokeball, just making sure this export's okay. All right, if we go to our history logs, let's just enable the path here too. And you can see here that that's exported just fine into Barry Summers matter, okay? And you can see the folder path just here. So if we head into Smokeball now, our invoices folder has magically appeared. All right, we have the date that this was exported on, and we have our file inside of Smokeball. Perfect. All right, now how easy was that? So in today's video, we learned how to create a job which exports documents into Smokeball. We leveraged some of Umango's Ask AI zones to help create a dynamic folder path and help in renaming our file once it gets into Smokeball. We also had options there for the user to search and select for a matter, either at the MFD panel or in the web browser as you saw, and then they can search and select a folder within that matter to get their documents into. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and keep an eye out for future tech tidbits. Thank you.